Hi, guys. I'm going to talk about a bit of a controversial thing now and denying that you're struggling. Why am I saying that? Is denial is when you refuse to accept reality or the truth, like ignoring something that's happening right before you. It's how your mind tries to protect you when something feels tough to deal with. It's like your mental armor or your shield. So just say you've lost somebody close and you're denying it's happened because it hurts too much to accept, or you've got bad news about your health and you're choosing not to believe because it scares you. Well, this might help a bit. It's like giving you breathing room to manage your feelings. It's not good in the long run. So if you stay in denial, you keep ignoring the truth. It's causing you more stress and will even make you sick. So while feeling a bit of denial is okay, you might eventually have to face the truth. Now, denial can worsen your stress because it stops you from dealing with the things that's causing you stress. For instance, if you have too much work, it's stressing you out, but you keep telling yourself it's not a big deal. You're in denial. By not accepting the truth, you're not giving yourself a chance to find a solution. It's like asking for help or learning better time management. Now, imagine you're always feeling stressed out because you're not getting along with a coworker, or at home, you're not getting along with your partner. Every time somebody asks you and you say everything's fine, but it's another form of denial, isn't it? You're avoiding talking about your problems. That makes that you can't work to fix it. The thing is that the more you avoid these stresses, the bigger they become in your mind. It's like when you're avoiding cleaning your room, the mess doesn't really go away. It keeps getting bigger and bigger and harder to deal with. That's why denial can end up causing you more stress in the long run. It's important to remember that it's okay to admit when things are stressful. Only then you can start to find ways to feel better. Now, I've got a couple of worksheets at the end, and I'm going to go through them in great detail so it helps you. But I'd like to talk a little bit out and give you a few activities that'll help you spot denial. So I call it the self reflection exercise, or you can use the stress audit tool. It's like take a few moments to think about situations that stress you out or make you uncomfortable. Write down your feelings about that situations, because how do you usually react? Are you quick to say it's not a big deal or you change the subject? This might be a sign of denial. Now, role playing scenarios. Imagine a situation that's stressing you out, and now pay attention to how you're responding. Are you minimizing the problem or are you avoiding the issue? Role playing can help you see how you're dealing with stress from a different perspective. Now, I've given you that stress diary. It really is good because you'll keep a daily record of what stresses you out. Make a note of how what you're reacting to each situation. Over time, you'll start to see patterns. You might be denying that you're reacting or ignoring that issue at work or the issue with your relationship. But remember, spotting that denial is the first step, handling your stress. It it's okay. It makes it feel difficult to start with, but it gets easier with practice. Now, denial can cause a bunch of health issues if not addressed. Now, physical health problems. Stress doesn't affect your mind, it affects your body too. So, if you're denying having stress, then you're getting headaches and tummy aches or even high blood pressure, then something's wrong, isn't it? For example, if you're stressed about work and you ignore it, you might have sleepless nights, makes you feel tired and unwell. But there is a problem that you're denying. Damaged relationships. It can really start to cause issue in your relationship. For instance, you're having a problem with a friend and you won't admit it. You won't get it solved. It could hurt your friendship. It can reduce your productivity. If you're denying you're overworked, you may not be at your best because you're too stressed out. It's like if there's a student with too many assignments, insisting on handling everything and not getting help, they might not do well in any of them. Now, it might cause mental health disorders like constant denial and stress can lead to anxiety and depression. A real life example is somebody who always feels sad. It keeps telling everybody, including themselves, that they're fine. Over time, this denial will cause some serious depression. Now, research supports this. It's not just me saying this. Studies have shown long term stress can lead to physical and mental health problems. So, denial can seem it helps in the short term, but it will cause so many problems in the long run. So, it's better to face the truth, even if it's tough initially. I'd like to help you move from denial to acceptance. So, acceptance is key part of handling stress. It's like saying, yes, I see the problem. Doesn't mean you're happy about the stress, but you're ready to face it. Accepting that stress is opening the door to do something about it. So you're here because you've taken the first step, and that is so brilliant. Like, just say you're overwhelmed at work, you keep denying, nothing changes. But if you accept that you're stressed, you can't start to make changes like talking to your boss about your workload, learning new ways to manage your time. Also, acknowledging your stress, you're permitting yourself to ask for help. Acceptance can also lead to healthier ways of coping with stress. So instead of ignoring your problem, you can take up a relaxing hobby or an exercise. You can practice mindfulness. All of these will help reduce stress and make you feel better. So, acceptance isn't about giving in to stress, it's acknowledging it. And you can act and return to that feeling like your best self. Now, strategies to overcome denial are will help you understand and change your thoughts. For example, if you're in denial about stress at work, like I said, those techniques that I have will help you recognize and think of new ways to see that situation. Maybe you're taking on too much because you think it's expected, but by asking for help, it's okay. Remember, everyone's journey is different. What works for one person might not work for the other. So, but time and patience, you can overcome denial and handle stress more healthily. Reinforcing that overcoming denial and moving towards acceptance is key and crucial to effectively managing your stress and building resilience. So I that's why I call this module the exploration and acceptance. So now I'm going to go on and give you some explanation about that, the 4I technique that I have and the other one. So here we're talking about the 4I. What is a 4I technique? It's you're overestimating the threat. So your brain routinely gets tricked into making mistakes or overestimating the threats that are coming from events and situations. You know, that stress, that fear, that worry can cause your mind to be very vigilant to understand how your brain works, and response is the first step in gaining control. You can feel vulnerable when you're threatened, and it's affecting you in many, many levels. For example, if you're overestimating that you feel threatened of how your parents will react when you tell them that you are choosing another career option, or partner will react if you say you're going to switch jobs. You will hesitate starting a new business venture, or you're planning a road trip. Now there are many ways we overestimate threats. So I call it, like I said, the 4 eyes, because implausible, you overthink that threat and you think it's unlikely to happen. Improbable, it's doubtful where you think it's going to happen. Inconceivable, you have imagined the worst, that's true, but it's not. And incredible, it's possible that your fears will materialize. So remember that we're always scared and fearful of more than we think that's going to happen. So I'd like to now talk about this negative mind chatter record I have. What is this negative mind chatter record? You have that voice at the back of your head that's keeping on saying things to you, negative things about you, to you. And you think, is that true? So the first thing is, what's your negative mind chatter saying? You know, like I've got an example at the bottom of this worksheet. It's like, I'm scared for my life, what if something bad happens to me? Now, I'd like you to rate it. So if you have a health anxiety, you'll put 9 there because you're really afraid. So what label or word would you use for this thought? Example, oh dear, I feel stupid of thinking this negative thing. Or you're over exaggerating it, this thought, it's untrue. Now, how does your mind chatter adversely affect, impact you? You go, oh my God, my heart is racing. I am going to have a heart attack. I better not do anything about this. Actually, is that true? So, I'd like you to think of challenging your negative mind chatter, like challenge it by asking yourself questions that will dispute that thought. Your heart is racing and you're scared. What were you thinking before your heart started to race? Has anything happened bad happened before? Always ask yourself questions. And these questions, I know, might seem silly or not right, but these questions will really help you because they will bring forward what you are thinking. And when you write it down, it will really help to make it clear. So I'd like to you to think about in this next column. Describe an alternative thought for you. Repeat a positive thought about 5 to 8 times with true meaning. Like, it's okay. I'm going to take a deep breath now. I'm safe. I'm well. Keep repeating it. Keep saying that. And this will really help you because you'll be able to now think of what are those things I'm thinking of and overestimating. So thank you for watching. Please do the worksheets at the bottom and go on to the next video.